We're getting to benefit from the excellent knowledge base of Jitu sir. Uh, if I were to come just here on my own, yeah, the Chilika Lake is exceptionally beautiful, but uh, to actually know how he discovered it to be, uh, connected to the trade with the Far East. Only because we came with him, we got to know this excellent story. So that makes the place even more special.
Friends, namaskar. This is Jitu from Odisha Journeys. Welcome to yet another episode of Odisha Journeys. Friends, have you ever heard about a place, about a small village of fishermen called Gourangapatna in the southernmost part of Chilika Lake? I don't think so any tourism literature provides information about Gourangapatna. Even the travel bloggers also do not have any understanding about any knowledge about Gourangapatna. However, friends, when we take our guests to southern part of Odisha, Koraput or Gajapati, so we make a stopover at Gourangapatna. You would be surprised to know why. Today it is a small village of fishermen, but about 1200 years back it was a thriving port, having trade connection, Odisha's trade connection with as far as Persian Gulf in Oman and also Southeast Asia. Friends, Odisha has a long history of maritime culture. Located on the sea coast of Bay of Bengal, it has 450 kilometers of coastline. Odisha's wealth was mainly coming from sea trade. Odias, which were called, they were called once Sadavas, the Odia merchants, they were once called Sadavas. They would dare to venture into the high sea of Bay of Bengal, which was known also as Kalinga Sagar, and sail into their ships into the far off territories of Java, Sumatra, Borneo and Sri Lanka, and do business with the mercantile communities over there, and also influence Odia culture in those far off lands. And at the same time, they would return back with so much of wealth. Of course, all of them were not succeeding. Out of 10, probably 2 or 3 of them were succeeding. But those who were succeeding in returning to Odisha, they invested their wealth in the construction of temples and also creating high culture in Odisha. And that is what Odisha has been known for. It was Ashoka who conquered Kalinga mainly because of its sea trade, because Odisha was the gateway to Southeast Asia. And he had to have an influence over Southeast Asia and also South India. Kalinga had to be annexed. So that was the reason why Ashoka conquered Kalinga. Chilika, which is a wonder, it's a natural wonder, home to about 200,000 fishermen who live in various islands, had played a very important role in the maritime culture of Odisha. So there were numerous ports flourishing all along the Chilika coast. Today, of course, Chilika has become a lagoon. It's a Ramsar site. It has become a lagoon. But once upon a time, it was part of Bay of Bengal. Even Huensang, the Chinese pilgrim, the traveler in the 7th century, had referred to Chilika as Chelitalo. It was a large bay where there were hundreds of forts flourishing along the coast. And today, most of these ports are gone. Only what we have, the archaeological remains and the folk tales around the maritime culture on the bank of Chilika Lake. So among the archaeological sites or ports, Gourangapatna finds a special mention. So when I said that when we take our travelers to Gourangapatna. We make a stopover at Gourangapatna, which is a small village of fishermen. It's located on the southernmost part of Chilika Lake. It's like a spiritual journey because of its serenity, because of its tranquility. It is you are like one to one with nature, seeing in front of you several boatmen, fishermen fishing in the Chilika. They are bringing their fresh catch. So it's a very different kind of experience our travelers go through. When they make a stopover for about an hour or so. And here, as I said, Gourangapatna, we have discovered evidence of Odisha's connections with Persian Gulf in the 8th century CE. Friends, you know about Indo-Roman trade, but that was a term used by the British archaeologist, colonial archaeologist. But later on, when our archaeologists, Indian archaeologists started working, not only Indian but also other countries of South Asia and Southeast Asia. So we said that there used to be a lot of trade connections, trade exchange, ideas exchange, exchange of mercantile goods happening within the Indian Ocean regions. So it was part of the Indian Ocean trade network, not Indo-Roman trade network. So the countries which were falling under Indian Ocean trade networks were like Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Vietnam, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, China, and on the west you have Oman and Arab. So these were all part of the Indian Ocean trade networks. So at that time, 8th, 9th century, there used to be extensive trade connection, network, sea trade happening between the Arab world and also Southeast Asia and China. So remember, in the 13th century, we have a depiction of giraffe in the Sun Temple of Konark. That's the only of its kind in the whole of India. The giraffe is being gifted by the traders from Africa to the king of Kalinga, probably Lamula Narsingh Dev, who was the builder of Konark, the Sun Temple at Konark. So that is an art historic evidence, a priceless art historic evidence. But before that, there used to be this trade network happening. And when we dug, we took a small trench in the late part of the 1990s here at Gourangapatna. We found a piece of turquoise blue glaze pottery, and which was of 9th, 10th century, and it was from Persian Gulf region, especially from Oman. So that gives an idea about Odisha's connections or Odisha's contributions in the greater Indian Ocean trade network. Friends, this Gourangapatna site was also was gifted by nature. So it's a gift of nature. On both sides you have two hills. On the left you have Ghantasila, and on the right you have the Dipo Dandi. So both the hills, in between you have a bay, a narrow way, where there used to be a huge settlement of merchants and traders. And these hills are made out of granite boulders. So on the foothills of both the hills, on the bank of Chilika, you have a natural alignment of 800 meters of granite boulders. According to maritime archaeologists and experts, it is speculated that these alignments, the stone alignments, acted as natural breakwaters, and that is why it was a perfect location for a harbour. And on the Dipodandia hill, you have a small boulder where even today people keep diya, so that's why it is called Dipodandia, because that was probably used as a lighthouse, and when the ships would enter into the harbour in the night or in the evening hour or even in the early morning hour, they would be able to locate Gourangapatna because of the lighthouse. So this is how this port was flourishing on the coast of Odisha. And as the littoral drift advanced, siltation happened, and over a period of time, Chilika was separated from Bay of Bengal through a natural barrier, a sandbar, and that was one of the major reasons for the declining of Gourangapatna port. So friends, when you are there at Gourangapatna, You spend, as I said, you spend an hour or maybe more than that, and see in front of you how the fishermen, are plying their boats, mechanized boats, and bringing fresh catch from the lake. And when you talk to them, you listen to their stories, and also the myths and legends and the folk tales associated with Gourangapatna. So come and join Odisha Journeys and immerse yourself in such kind of archaeological wonders which have been hardly told to you. So Odisha is not just confined to the temples, but also numerous archaeological sites which are set against beautiful locations, and also they are also approachable, not very far from the main roads, highways, and they come on the route that we take to provide immersive experience to our travelers in the highlands. So come and join Odisha Journeys and experience such wonderful archaeological wonders. Thank you so much.